Hey brother, Stuart Matola, men's relationship coach. Hope you're having a kick-ass day. I wanted to talk to you in this video about the difference between therapy and coaching. A lot of guys ask me the difference, and I just recently had an experience with a client where that came into play immediately. And it's very clear that this guy wanted coaching. So he was telling me a story about a challenge with his wife, and specifically how he has a family member who he is trying to have a relationship with, who is very important to him, and his wife has judgments about that family member, about that family member's lifestyle, about how that person, lives their life. And there was no major red flags to me about how that family member is acting or is showing up in my client's life. And so he was talking about it for a while, and I said, wait a minute, time out, brother. Do you want me to just hear and listen to you? I got enough of the story because I just want to get you directly to what you're going after. So this was the coaching model, and directly what he was going after was learning how to assert his wants and needs. And in this case, it was specifically his want to visit more with this family member, to have a better relationship. And I didn't need to hear all the story, but again, back him out from that ground level view where he was really caught up in the details, and just say, hey, let's get to the 10,000 foot view and really go after what you're really wanting here. And I coached him in a very explicit process, which I use often and talk a lot about in my videos, about how to have a check-in with his wife. He talks 5 minutes, she reflects 5 minutes, says what she heard, now, doesn't argue with him, and they switch, and creating a container for him to actually step into action, to have a conversation with his wife, where most of the time shit just ended up where one of them walks out of the room and things just go really sideways for him. Now, on the flip side, if you're the guy who wants to just tell his story, be heard, be listened, be validated, and maybe try to pull apart the psychological dynamics in that interaction about the family member and your wife, I do a tiny bit of that, but just enough to actually extract what's necessary and get you into moving into action so you can actually change your relationship. Versus on the therapeutic side, it would be to talk more and more about that challenge. And I'm not saying all therapists work like this. I want to be clear like that. But majority in therapy, the emphasis is on listening, being heard, witnessing. And of course, there's some self-reflection, but it's not so much like, time out, I don't need to hear all the story, I don't need to hear all the drama, I just need to hear the essence. Boom, let's go into action. And I find that for a lot of men, this is much more powerful. They want to learn how to change their behavior and how to move into action instead of, being stuck in a story, which they already live with. And I saw this on my client's face, of a sense of gratitude. He was like, oh, wow, awesome, man. Just get me to what is really going on here. And we did that, as opposed to, him needing to be fully heard. And I even said to him, I said, dude, do you feel like I'm cutting you off? Is there more or critical details that you need to say here? Or has enough been said and we can actually go into the bigger picture here about what's actually going in your relationship? So again, the coaching side, and that's explicitly, obviously, I can only represent my own coaching, how I coach, to the therapeutic side, which is less action-oriented, more about being heard, seen, witnessed, and trying to fully, pull out the inner dynamics about what's going on and why you're acting that way, etc. And I have a thread of that, but I'm not going to let you or any client go down a massive story and eat up the clock with an hour of your time and precious hard-earned money to just be heard with a big dramatic story that you already know, but is making you feel better to actually, have somebody hear it. And so a lot of times I say, if you're that guy who just wants to get free of the discomfort and tension of your relationship, and you don't want to actually do work or change your behavior to create a better relationship, then I'm not your guy. I should not, you don't want to work with me, because my focus is on how to get a different outcome, how to get a different result in your relationship that's going to honor and keep you in integrity for what you need, and also honor the integrity of the relationship, because a lot of us are going through a relationship kicking the can down the road when we know what's in front of us. We know what action needs to be taken. And so in this case, my client was asking for accountability and a very explicit structure for him to move into action to create the change that he seeks in his relationship. So I hope this was helpful to just learn a little bit of the difference between coaching and therapy, explicitly how I do coaching and how I see the general structure of therapy out there in the realm. From my own personal experience, having been in therapy for 11 years on and off, and from having coached tons of guys who've been in therapy for many years. And a lot of times I'm able to coach them in a place to take advantage of all the therapy they did in the past, or to shortcut that and short circuit that therapy that they might do in the future to actually go after what they want and create the change that they seek in their relationship. Hope this was helpful. If it was, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below, or if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel to the lower right. Have a kick-ass day. Thanks. Bye.